Welcome to the Not Superheroes Gets Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids, and combat generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing, the barbecue, is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie, and I hope you're having an amazing day today. Before we start, of course, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Tell a friend. If you're watching, you could see the 100 behind me, or if you're listening, this is the 100th episode. So for me, I guess that would be my proud dad moment, right? For those that this is your first time listening or watching, I like to highlight different things that us as fathers have accomplished or doing, or whatever the case is. And so for me, my proud dad moment is this is the 100th episode, which is crazy when I really think about it. And I'm glad you guys can be here to celebrate with me on such a huge milestone, right? And honestly, that's what we're gonna be diving in today, guys. It's more so reflecting, and even some of the questions that I've been asked. I feel like this would be a good time to answer some of those, right? Now the first thing, I guess, is for me, I look at it like, what made me hit the record button, right? What made me do episode 1? And if you guys been rocking with me, I'm very passionate about it when it comes to us fathers, and having different resources and tools that I feel like as men, as fathers, we don't have a lot of times. Or I shouldn't say we don't have, but it's not as much as it should be, right? And so it was something that was on my heart for a while, and actually I wanted to do it with someone, this podcast, and that's where those that's been rocking with me, y'all know Lamar, right? Shout out to Lamar, because he helped me start this and get this going, right? So he was my co-host, doing it with me, and now he's doing his stay with the basketball stuff. And I am going to get him back on at least a couple episodes for sure soon, because I know some people will be like, man, what's happening with him? But he's good. A lot of amazing things happening to him in the basketball world right now. So, but I will be trying to set that up soon, where he can get on and share what's been going on with him, man. So it's been a blessing for sure with him. But honestly, y'all, I look at it like, doing this, right, when I did this, like, I didn't know what this would become. I didn't know what it would look like. And it's been amazing to see just God really move with this, right? And this podcast honestly has helped change me personally as well. Been able to connect with people I didn't think I could connect with. Been able to reach people that I didn't think was possible to reach, right? And so that's been amazing for me, because let's be honest, like, I have guests that come on, right? And some of them might be their first time being a guest, or it might be their 15th time being a guest, right? But there's times where they might have doubts, or they're not sure, right? And so, of course, for me as well, right, I had doubts. I had some roadblocks. And my boy Jawan, before we was talking, and he was like, man, you seem so confident with certain things, right? And I am, but there was also some roadblocks. There was also times when I thought this is impossible. There's also times when, I didn't want to record, right? There's times when I had so much going on, I'm like, man, you know what? It don't matter if I get skipped for a while. But for me, I felt like it was bigger than me, right? It's something that I want to really get back to the community. That's where my heart's at. So at the end of the day, I had to put my own doubts, my own roadblocks, my own excuses, right? It's easy for us to make excuses at times when, that motivation goes away, right? And I was just telling my son this, right? It's like, motivation can only get you so far, right? But it's actually discipline that will get you where you need to go. So at the end of the day, it's easy to be amped up. It's easy to feel supercharged because you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I went and saw this speaker and they told me, I need to invest $10,000 in their program, or I need to go back to school. I need to start that business, whatever it is, right? You're feeling good, and let's be honest, that'll last what, a day, two, maybe a week, and then all of a sudden it drifts. That's why we see a lot of times, right? What happens all the time, January 1st, everybody wants to go to the gym. Everybody's trying to get their body right. And then what, halfway through January, or shoot, maybe they make it all the way to the beginning of February, that same gym isn't as full anymore. And that's because that motivation died down. Now all of a sudden, the discipline kicks in. When you don't want to get up early in the morning to work out, right? Where you don't want to have to change your eating habits, right? So that's what it comes down to. So same thing, and that's what anything, and that's what it's been. That's what it is for me. So this has also helped me be more disciplined with a lot of things, right? Because at the end of the day, I look at it like, man, there's someone that might be looking forward to this, or there's someone that needed this motivation, or needed this extra push, right? Because again, it goes back to discipline, of course, but it might be that thing where, I might have a guest speaker come on and they're talking about, I don't know, let's say going back to school. They're talking about going back to school, and whatever, for whatever reason, that was that extra push, or that was that extra, nod you needed to make sure you go back to school, or whatever the case is. And so a question that was also asked to me was like, man, that's an amazing title. What does Not Superheroes Just Dads stand for? What does it really mean? And what it stands for is, at the end of the day, it's easy to get caught up in just doing everything. And a lot of times, right, it does feel like we're doing everything. It's like, man, everyone needs our attention. Everyone needs us to help them out with whatever's going on, right? There's times where my kids is all asking for 3 different things all at once, right? Or and then that's not including work. That's not including, just life, right? Just so many different things. And at the end of the day, too, as men, as fathers, with everything going on, we still have to be even keel. We still have to make sure that we're thinking logically, right? And not being so emotional with everything. We have to make sure, okay, right? I look at like this, like when there's a bug in the house, right? I know plenty of y'all can relate. When there's a bug in the house, right? The family, oh my gosh, it's a bug. Oh, but if they see dad not freaking out, man, okay, that's just, that's a little beetle. Let me kill it real quick, or whatever, right? All of a sudden, it's not that bad, right? If there's a storm, for the ones that have younger kids, in Texas, we literally just had some random rain and it was thunder and lightning, right? But I wasn't freaking out. And because I wasn't freaking out, my kids wasn't freaking out, right? And so I just look at it like, at the end of the day, we are looked upon to do so many different things. We are looked upon to be that hero. But understand that we're flawed. Understand that we can't do everything on our own. Understand that not to put that pressure on you to be that perfect dad, to be, able to do every single thing, and know, hey, I can only do what I can. Now, in that, while we're being the best we can, a lot of times we do end up kind of being that Superman, right? But that's not necessarily on purpose. That's just because our family's looking at us like, wow, like, look what my dad's doing, right? Or you're married, look what my husband's doing for our family, right? So, and I mean, shoot, as men, we take pride in that. We take pride in being able to provide for our family, be able to protect our family, be able to fix things for our family, right? Be able to come up with solutions for our families. So I just say that because, it's easy for us to get caught up in trying to wear the cape all the time, but we don't have to, right? And so that's what it comes down for me. But I look back at it as well. Like, some of the messages you guys have, sent me has been amazing. Has honestly, when again that motivation I was talking about, right? Motivation can get you going for a little bit because we all need it at times, but it's that discipline that will keep you pushing, right? But that little bit of extra motivation definitely doesn't hurt. Honestly, is sometimes it is what you need just to refocus, right? And so those messages I've gotten from you guys, just saying what it's meant to you guys, or saying that you recognize what I'm doing and appreciate it. Again, those messages, man, they mean so much to me. Every time I get any positive feedback, I mean, even if I got negative feedback, I don't think I've gotten too many negative feedback, maybe online or something like that. But for the most part, man, it's all been love. It's all been positive. And so I'm just thankful for that, for sure. And so with that, right, I wanted to actually share with you guys some pretty big news. Pretty big news since it is the 100th episode, right? It is a big milestone to me. Um, I wanted to take it to the next level. Like I said, this is something I'm passionate about. As you guys know, this is something that really means a lot to me, right? And so because of that, I'm in the process now of making Not Super Rich Kids Dad not just a podcast, but now a nonprofit, right? A nonprofit. I'm in the process of doing that. Well, actually, no. Let me take that back. That part is done. There's like 4 or 5 different steps, but that part is done. Now I'm in the process of getting my 501c, and again, for all those people that has reached out, that have donated, um, again, I'm so thankful. I'm so humbled that you guys would even really believe in what I'm doing. It means so much to me, honestly. Um, but I want to take it to the next level. I want to be able to really help the community, like I've been saying, right? And this will for sure get me to where I'm trying to go, where I will go. And so I'm excited about that because at the end of the day, like I said, this is something I feel like we really need. And so, yes, the podcast is a wonderful thing. Being able to reach different people, connect with different people, but it's not enough. I want to do more, right? I want to be able to be out really in the community. Being able to speak to individuals is amazing, is great. And that's still something I'm going to continue to do. But my mission is bigger than that, right? My mission is I really want to be another support system or another, avenue of resources for us fathers, and I want to be to provide those different resources. I want to be to really not just talk about it, but be about it, right? And I don't like to really say my moves out like in public and out like that just because at the end of the day, you know, just unfortunately some people are negative at times, right? So there's only certain people that will know everything that I'm doing, but I did want to share that with you guys as far as me, being on a mission of really want to make an impact because there's too many of us that are trying to push through this life alone, right? And I know many fathers that didn't have fathers, right? And so, not saying that they need a father now, but if you can have a community of fathers that's been that same boat, right? Why not be able to pick each other's brains? Why not be able to share what we've learned, our experiences, right? And be to really uplift instead of being in competition, right? A lot of times it's competition as not even just fathers, but just as men, right? A lot of times, in at least in my community, we're trying to compete against each other instead of coming together. Unfortunately, right? There's where that division comes in, and I want to instead of when division is everywhere, I'm trying to bring us closer. I'm trying to make sure that there is that support system. There is those resources. There is where it's not, man. You know what, man? I can handle it. I can handle it on my own. As when I had a Coach Cam, definitely check out that episode. One of the most powerful episodes, honestly. But when I had Coach Cam, and he shared, his depression. He shared his anxiety. He shared, honestly want to take his life, right? He shared that's like because of what he was dealing with. Like imagine though if he had the resources, the tools, and certain avenues to get out of that situation a little bit quicker, right? To be able not to maybe put his family through certain things, especially moving from another state and starting all over. Like I said, definitely check out that episode. But I can relate to that, right? I was in a dark place for a little bit, right? Moving to a whole nother state, not having, my friends, not having my family besides the one in my household, right? That is a lot, right? And my kids dealt with it, my wife dealt with it, right? Like everyone dealt with different things, and that is not an easy thing to battle, right? That's not an easy thing to deal with. So for me, that's why I'm like, man, this is something that I want to provide. And so having a 501c will help me be able to partner up with people, will help me be able to have different resources, different tools that I can give back to you guys, right? Because that's what it's about. It's about giving back to you guys. I do want to put some events together, and I thank God that He's connected me with all these different people, as you guys been watching, rock with me, right? Different. I've had people from New York to California, right? Just talk and share different stories, and I'm thankful for them. And there's I plan on hopefully being to get this nonprofit going to the place where I can have events and maybe in areas that you're in as well, right? But that's for a whole nother story. That's for a whole nother day. But yeah, man. And so and my goal is just to continue to grow, finish out this year strong, and to be able to take it up another level, right? Don't stay stagnant. That's something that I feel like I've always tried to live by in a way, like constantly grow, don't stay stagnant. But I feel like doing this podcast has helped me with that so much as well. Has helped me to put things in perspective, right? It has helped me when I was slacking, when I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to be doing, right? I still was able to stay focused. I still was able to keep pushing on. And so that's something that I think is just a beautiful thing, and I'm thankful for. Really am thankful for. Man, and so I want to ask you guys, either from when you're listening, hit me up on the DMs, whatever, however, email me, right? But what is something that as fathers, as men, maybe that you feel like, hey, you know what, yeah, we need more of this. Hey, in this area, we're getting ignored, or I wish we had these resources, right? I want to know those things, right? I want to know those things because as I'm getting ready to take this next step, I want to be able to hear from you guys, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is for us fathers, for us men. I want to be able to be that extra resource, right, for us. So what is it that we're missing out on? What is something that we need? What is something that is lacking? And by being able to do that, by being able to be honest and have those real conversations, right, that's how things can get corrected. That's how things can get fixed, right? And so that's where my heart is, and that's where I'm at right now with it. But with that being said, again, I don't want you guys thinking like, hey, that means the podcast's over, or that's it. No, I still plan on bringing you guys episodes every week. Either myself or having a guest on, just giving different perspectives, different things that you guys might want to listen to or hear. And so yeah, like I said, man, I'm just so thankful, so humbled, to be honest, because at the end of the day, if you told me a year and a half ago I'd be at 100 episodes, I would have thought you was tripping, right? I would have thought you was crazy. Because actually, let me share that with you guys too real quick. So I've had podcasts before that, right? I had one with me and my lady. I had one by myself, right? And not by myself, I'm sorry, with the youth, right? And for different reasons, they didn't last as long. Like, I still was able to finish like a whole season with them, and they were great, but there was something missing. And so I want to encourage you guys, because there might be something you're doing, might be something you're trying to pursue, whatever the case is, and maybe it doesn't go the way you want to, right? And so you're thinking like, oh, I should quit. Oh man, yeah, it's not meant to happen. No, maybe that just wasn't maybe you was like, for example, let's say you was going to school, right? Maybe that was the right idea, but the wrong courses, right? Maybe you're supposed to be at a trade school instead of going to a junior college, or whatever the case is, right? So I just wanted to encourage you guys with that, because it's so easy to think like, man, this isn't working, so this isn't for me, when that could be not the case at all. It could be something where you're just in this season of growth. Like, the reason why I feel like those previous things I was doing, all of it. Because honestly, I think I shared this with you guys, right? Like, I had a course for the youth. I was trying to get into the schools, right? I had a program for the parents, right? I had all these different things I was doing. Life coaching, right? All these wonderful things, which I thank God that I had those opportunities, but I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it mentally. I wasn't ready for it spiritually. I just was not ready for it. And so now I'm in a place that God's been doing some work in my life where now I feel like I am getting ready for the next level, for the next step. And so that's why for me, this is just a beautiful thing, a blessing that I can say now I'm at 100 episodes because, again, man, it wasn't easy. It might sound easy, but it definitely isn't to be able to, be consistent, be able to be disciplined, to be able to push through when you don't want to push through. And so that's us in general. That's us in life, right? And so we will push through for our jobs, right? But we don't necessarily push through for ourselves, right? Whatever that is. Whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever you want to accomplish. Again, that doesn't mean it has to be a business. That doesn't mean, you have to event something, right? Just whatever it is you want to do, you can accomplish it. And maybe just right now you're still getting rebuilt. You're still trying to figure out certain things, and you're getting prepared for that next level, for that next step. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And again, I am so, so thankful. You guys just don't understand how thankful I am just for the support itself. Because at the end of the day, I look at it like, I'm not one of these people that, had them huge followings because, I was the star football player, star basketball player, or the, I don't know, went to USC or something, right? Where I was able to make these type of connections from the jump, right? Like I'm sure you guys see there's people that's like 17 years old and they'll have like 60,000 followers on Instagram, TikTok, whatever the case is, right? So whatever they're going to put out is instantly going to do well or get some type of numbers just because of who they are, because of their status. And so for me, I'm just a humble man from the IE, California, a family of four, or I'm sorry, not a family of four. I have 4 kids, right? So it's a family of 6, right? And so there's nothing crazy or super special about me, right? I'm a humble man that just continues to improve and trying to be the best version of myself. And so I say that because if I can do it, you can do it. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, trust me. If there's something you want to do, and you knew my story, you'd be like, dang, how were you able to do that, right? And so, and again, I'm an open book. So anytime you guys have questions, anytime you guys are just curious about something, again, you guys can message me, write a comment on the post, whatever the case is. I'll do my best to respond. And those obviously that know me, that are real close to me, you guys know, you just text, call, whatever the case is. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys. Don't understand how thankful I am, but I appreciate you guys once again. And so with that being said, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. See you guys on the next one.